Bones Unfiltered Podcast. Bones Unfiltered Podcast.
Gentlemen, welcome to today's episode of the Bones Unfiltered Podcast. This is a special needs edition. I'm your host, Bones, and today I am in the presence of this wonderful young lady sitting right here next to me. Her name is Sharon Raymond, and she is a mom and advocate for her daughter that has autism. Her name is Jessie, and we're going to get to talk a little bit about everything. This episode is going to be really jazzy because we not only get to hear the good and the bad sides of a child with autism through the eyes of a mom, but we get to kind of go through her life's journey. But the cool thing about this episode too is, as you all know and have been watching, we have definitely been very big on wanting to support the Lee Clinic here in Louisville, Kentucky. And apparently, I mean, this is a wonderful program that is based here in Shively in Louisville, but it's really the only one in the area for Kentucky. So they see a lot of people. They got a huge waiting list to get to this wonderful program. But this program is designed for special needs community, mainly adults, where it's kind of a one-stop shop. I mean, they help them through a lot of different things, but also do work hand in hand with a lot of the specialists that these individuals may have. So this is a wonderful program. If for those of you all that are new to this, as I am slowly learning about this awesome program, the cool thing about this program is they do so much good for the community. The sad part about this program is they're under unfortunate attack with budgetary cuts. And we want to try to make sure that that doesn't happen, because it's people like Jessie, Miss Sharon's child here, that, well, she's not a child now. Hell, she's an adult.
Yes,
But she is. Now, tell me a little bit, Miss Sharon, kind of tell everybody a little bit about, let's go all the way back to the beginning. So you obviously have this beautiful young lady, which there she is right there. I mean, look at that smile on her face.
Yes.
That is such an adorable picture. So much joy and happiness on that face right there.
Yes.
But I want you to kind of tell me, like, once you had your, Jessie, how long did it take you to find out she was autistic? And what were the triggers that kind of made you start seeing things before you actually found out, that kind of said, hey, something's not right here?
Well, she was probably around 6 to 8 months old, and she wasn't reaching her milestones. And you know how you express everything to the pediatrician, and the pediatrician says, don't worry. Well, he finally agreed to get first steps in. First steps are the ones that said, oh, I think there's something more going on, just some speech issues or some OT issues. And we were evaluated at age 2 from Weisskopf. It's called Weisskopf back then. And she was diagnosed at 2 years old, stating that they never brought up autism, but they said that she had intellectual disabilities and that she will never learn to read, write, or know math at age 2. So at age 4, we finally got the diagnosis of autism because of all her repetition behaviors, and she's not following 2-step commands. And so her journey after that was just a lot of therapies, PT, and that's that. We didn't find out till she was 26 years old why she is the way that she is.
Wow, that's amazing.
But and she had a really difficult time all through school. And
where'd she go to school at, Sharon?
She went to school in Oldham County.
Oh, in Oldham?
In Oldham County, yes.
Now, did she have a difficult time? Was it just because of learning the material, or was there some unfortunate bullying that happens, which
Uh,
we all know that tends to happen, especially in schools, younger eras of school.
as far as verbally abusive, I don't think from other kids, I don't think she would understand that. It was more that she had 15, maybe 10 to 15 seconds of focus, not
Hmm.
here, just wanting to walk around in STEM. And her biggest issue was transitions. So if you wanted her to go from one room even to the lunchroom, um, she would throw herself in the hallway and sit there, and she would sit there all day.
No doubt. So, not a big fan of change. She likes her routine. Is she a routine driven young
She
lady?
she is very driven with routine. Yes. Um, we have like a chart on the back wall here. Like Monday we're doing this, Tuesday we're doing this, and we have what caregivers coming over. She doesn't know how to tell time, so we're trying to teach her how to tell time through colors. Like when
Hmm.
the clock gets on blue, this is when so and so's coming over. But we're still working on it. One day she seems to know her colors, and other days she doesn't. So she's
That's
tricky.
amazing too,
Yeah.
how that works with them, because it's like some of the easiest things they may not get, but then they'll turn around and they'll do something that'll just blow your mind. And
Right.
you're like, "How in the heck can you do that?" But you can't remember, like, say, your colors. It's
Oh,
it's so amazing how that works.
oh yeah. I mean, she can tell you that's a table, that's a car, that's the sign for Target, but she can't tell you that's letter A or letter B or a letter C. I guess alphabet has no meaning to her.
Oh,
So
that's really interesting.
yeah.
Now, I did notice, and I don't know if she does or if this was just coincidental. Um, I did notice, well, actually, in order for me to do that, I am gonna have to do this. There we go. All right. This picture here made me. I saw it on your when I was stalking your page. I saw it, and I went, that. I wonder if there's a correlation with this, because I tend with autism. It's weird. Musical instruments seem to be a very big theme
Yes.
with people with autism.
Yes.
So, explain this photo here. Um,
So my daughter, well, my son, one of his friends at the time could play the piano just by ear. He was great. My daughter,
mhm,
he would come over and he'd start playing, and she would curl up under the piano. It-
no doubt.
yes. So she just loves music. Um, and I don't know if it's from the vibration, but she wanted to be there under the piano as he was playing.
Wow, that's so neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is amazing how autism. It just seems to me like music is a huge proprietor there.
Yes.
So I definitely wanted to bring that picture in and just ask you about it, because I thought, well, maybe she could play, you
No
know.
fish.
And it's so amazing that how that works too. I've got a buddy that his kid, I saw the piano and it made me think of that, because we were at a party and his kid sits down on this piano and just starts playing, and we're like, wow. I was like, damn, I didn't know your kid could play that good. And he goes, I didn't either. He's never played.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can that's just what just blows your mind, because it's like something like that
Yes.
people strive for years to be able to accomplish, some people, and some people can just, like a light switch, just get it.
They
And
do.
it's just unbelievable.
Some people, people with autism have a special gift. And her special gift, I think, is that this girl does not forget a name. She can name people as far back when she was 4 years old, and
No doubt.
has been obsessed with when she was four. We were at church and she met this baby, and her name was Katie. And to this day, she still looks for Katie, and she doesn't understand that Katie is now, 18 years old. And she remembers
Oh,
war. And, I've shown her pictures of Katie growing up, but it just hasn't clicked. But she can remember caregivers' names that I can't even remember that she had when she was 6 or 7.
that's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
I don't know how she does. See, I'm terrible with names.
Oh, I
Faces. Now I can see a face and I can even progressively age that person. Go 10 years without seeing them, and then all of a sudden, or 20 years, and then you see them at a Target, and you're like, I'm like, I know you, but I don't know where, or I don't know your name. And then the next thing you know, we start talking, and it's like, oh yeah, you were so and so, you did this, blah blah blah, you know.
yeah,
So, but it's amazing how some people can, like her, can just remember dates, times, names. It's
yes.
unbelievable. Now we are going to get into in a minute, because the nice thing about Miss Sharon here is she's going to kind of share her story about the good and the bad and the ugly of autism, because most everybody, and same with Facebook. I mean, if you pull up anybody's Facebook pages, what do you generally always see on Facebook?
You see all the happy stuff,
All happy stuff. That's right. You hardly ever see
all the good.
the bad side of that coin, and there's good and bad to both. And when I mean bad, I don't mean bad like like she's evil. I mean like she has a bad day. They're human just like us, but sometimes their frustrations build to the point where they boil over because they don't know how to properly release that stress.
Right.
And Miss Sharon's going to kind of talk about this, and she sent me some photos that we're going to get into here in a minute. She's kind of take us through a bad time, like
Okay.
take us through a day of the bad time that
Well,
you've experienced.
all right. So, well, during while she was in school, I would get phone calls throughout the day. Um, I've even had the police come to my door saying, need to go pick up your daughter. And this was like in not middle school. It was more high school, just because she could not handle the noise situation or the clutter of all the kids or stuff on
Hmm.
the wall. And she would hit peers. She would do property destruction, and nobody seems to know what her triggers were. That's the hard thing is, and still to this day, we don't know what her triggers are. I mean, she
No
was
doubt.
worked with, you know, behavioral analysis, and she's still in with behaviorals. So she has come a long way. But 1 minute she could be happy as can be, and the next minute she's throwing things off the table, or throwing a planter across the room without reason.
Wow.
Multiple times she's happy, she's eating, and the next thing you know, her food goes flying across the room, and we're like, Jess, why did you just throw that? She can't answer why questions. So we're working on that, is to, Jessie is verbal. She can express her wants and needs, but to really have a conversation with her, you can't really have a conversation. Like if you say, how was your day? You can't give her open-end questions. But,
Right.
I do this alone. Her father, left her in her, she has two older brothers,
Hmm.
and he left her when she was about 7 or 8 and said he never wanted to see her anymore,
Yeah.
on contact with the boys. And that was really hard on the boys, saying, you want to see us but not our sister. But anyway, so there was a time where she was so out of control that we had those the MFN, or the fighting thing, the pads that you hold. We've had to
Oh
hold,
yeah, yeah.
we
Hmm.
had those pads like kickboxer uses. So you hold those pads just as protection, because she would come at you and try to hit you or push you, and nobody knows why. Um,
Hmm.
there are times where she would flip over the dining room table. She would throw things out of the cupboard. So everything has locks on it. And she can do a lot of property destruction, but not know why she's doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Now, it was the school that she went to was in Oldham County. Was it set up to deal with the special needs community, or was it really not? They didn't really have a very strong program, because I know some schools kind of specialize in that,
yeah,
whereas others don't.
when she was in elementary school, I would say no. They did not. They did not know how to. And again, she's 26 years old, so they didn't know how to handle a child with autism. I mean, they would sit her in a chair and put blinders up to try to keep her, so she wouldn't get distracted. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Was the hardest for her. I ended up taking her out of high school. Middle school was her best, and it was a lot because of the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'll give her a shout out. It's her name's Kelly, and she's a wonderful. Was a middle school teacher. She's retired now, but I mean, her heart and soul went into all of her kids. In high school, the teacher that she had was a new teacher. She would put up. Jessie would transition in the hallway, and it was too overwhelming. She'd sit down. They'd tell her to get wrestling mats and
Uh-huh.
wrestling mats, not because she was aggressive. It was because they didn't want to show her any attention during that time. And the teacher in front of her would say, "Don't talk to her. Don't look at her." And that is so inappropriate because
Yeah.
she knows what you're talking about, and she's going through a hard time, but yet you're telling other people not to try to console her or to
Or to help her.
help her.
Yeah. And that's BS.
Oh yeah, it was terrible. The high
Yeah. And it's amazing how some schools, they've got the program where it's very nice. And then some people, they unfortunately their community just doesn't have that kind of resource.
right,
And some people just don't know how to deal with those kind of outbursts because it is, if
right,
you've never experienced one, it is interesting. And it is kind of daunting
right.
when they do lash out because they don't know what they're doing. So you get aggravated. I know I would get so aggravated with my son with some of the stuff he would do, and even if it was nonviolent stuff, just just simple, some of the things that he does, I'm like, why would you think that is even okay to do? And it's just because I tend to sometimes forget myself
Yeah.
that I need to put myself in their shoes to try to see it through their eyes. And I'm not very good at doing that myself at times. But
I think
now
that
the when she found the Lee Clinic, is that what they specialize with her?
yeah,
Is kind of behavioral?
yeah, behavioral, yes. And they're the ones that found her genetic diagnosis. That
Oh, they did, no doubt.
found it, yes. And,
Wow.
and if she has a condition that's only 130 in the world have it, but it's it's autism, it's sleep disorders, it's neurological disorders, um, and it's called Shine syndrome. And so, she
Hmm.
had been on 17 or 18 different medications uh, to try to find something that would help regulate her, but they've all made her worse. And they finally found something that's working for her. But we're in the process of now thinking that she might have another genetic disorder where some medications aren't going to, that she can't take. So they are a blessing in disguise because they are the only ones that will keep digging and digging to find out how to help her instead of just pushing her off to the side and saying, "Oh, let's try this medication or this medication." And um, I can't say enough good things about Lee Clinic. They are the ones. Jessie was at a camp um, through a Christian camp, and one of the people that was working with her in the cabin saw that Jess was basically in crisis mode, crying all the time, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to transition. And she happened to be a crisis nurse at the Lee Clinic who didn't know me, who didn't know Jess, but just knew Jess for that weekend. And she says, "I think we can help you. Let's get you into this clinic." And from there on, they have just been a blessing.
That is awesome. Now you said too, a lot of the help from organizations, it took you a while to get to that. What'd you say? She was 16 before she started actually getting some assistance? Or maybe I'm thinking myself because I know that was pretty much the case with us with Brandon. It took a long time Um,
Well, through high school, one of the higher ups in the special ed department was bending over backwards for her. I do have to say that.
well,
Um,
that's good.
they were trying to get her into different schools, and it was
Hmm.
going to be on Oldham County. They would pay for that because in the public, if they cannot provide a service, they have to find a service. So they tried all these special ed schools. None of the special ed schools would take her because of her aggression, because of
Mm.
elopement, because she needed one-on-one. And even though they provided one-on-one, one school had told her, well, she has trouble with transition, so if she sits down in the parking lot, that'll make us liable. And I'm like, well, that's what you guys deal with. And it was like, I think $25,000 school that the Oldham County was going to pay for, but yet they said no, the school is not going to take her.
And that's a shame. And you know what? A part of me, and I may be wrong, it's just my opinion, folks, but I think lawyers are to blame for that, because I think we've allowed this country to get to where you can sue for every damn thing. That if a kid would sit down in a parking lot, you're liable. And it's like, are we really having to deal with this kind of crap? But the answer, sadly, is yeah. And
Yeah.
what a shame.
Mom has to deal with it. You're a professional.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, you would think. It's like it's part of your job, you know.
Yeah, you're
Now,
there with her and you protect her until she's ready to get up, or you get two people and hoist her up and walk her in.
that's right. Now you're saying that I did not know that she has insomnic episodes.
Oh yeah.
So you just mentioned that. Now, tell everybody how that affects you, because obviously, if you've got a child at her level of autism that is insomnic, well, that can also be a recipe for disaster, because she could get up at 3 a.m. and do God knows what.
Yeah.
So with you doing it alone, that's got to be really trying on you. So kind of walk us through how you deal with something like that.
Well, you have to do what you got to do. So there would be times where she would get 2 to 3 hours of sleep, and then up it was busy things like like one day she took everything out of the cupboards, everything out of the refrigerator, and just put it all in the living room. And so you just got to let her do it, because if you stop her, you got to pick your battles, I guess. Do I want to get, see the behaviors, have more destruction, or do I just let her go ahead and do this, and then we'll deal with it when she's sleeping? I'll just go ahead and clean it up, kind of thing.
Dang,
So,
that's amazing.
and
Because I don't know if I don't have the patience. Like, that says a lot about you. That's unbelievable. But
yeah,
you're right. You do got to pick your battles.
yeah,
And then, and speaking of picking those battles, we're going to go ahead now that we're talking about this. We're going to show. Miss Sharon was nice enough to send me some photos that a lot of people may not, because a lot of people may be like, "Well, I don't want to show that. It's kind of it may be embarrassing or whatever." But this is the kind of stuff that people that have special needs children may have to deal with.
she was
Um,
this time.
say that again.
Was in crisis at this time, meaning that um, this lasted for probably like a week. This kind of stuff.
No doubt.
Yeah, but
Well, here's the first photo I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to let Sharon tell you all about it.
okay.
Well, now, what room of the house? I'm assuming this is probably your dining room.
Yes, it's the dining room, and that is a wooden table that seats 6 people, and it had the leaf in it. So it was, and it's amazing how strong these kids are. She was in high school when she did that, and we don't know what caused it. This is when a caregiver was with her. I had to come home from work. Thank God my employer was so understanding, because I just have to pick up and leave. And we called the behavioralist out. And then when she calms down, we just have to clean it up.
Now, I see the table up at the top. Now, what's the rectangular? It almost looks like a cabinet of some
Yeah.
sort.
The cabinet. And so I've had to take the cabinet, shove it up against the wall. She just flipped it over. And if you don't allow her to do this, then she's going to come after you.
Oh, so the violence turns towards the human instead of the object.
Correct.
Wow.
So,
And that could be scary because, I mean, obviously, I mean, she's 26 years old, folks, and she can flip tables.
yeah,
And, so she's strong. So just
yeah,
imagine what she could do
yeah. And this is when
to someone else.
right, right. I mean, she would never pick up an object to hurt you. And I don't think she understands that she's hurting you. She's
Right.
trying to tell you something, and we don't know what it is.
And
So,
that's the frustration just builds.
yes.
God love her.
Yeah. And then the next day she could just be happy as can be and cooperative and loving and, but days like those, you just want to cry for her. It's like, what is going on that could cause anybody to feel that kind of, I don't want to say rage, because it wasn't rage. It was more like trying to find a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yes.
But here's another one. Now tell us, now this obviously it's slightly different room, maybe. I see we're by some steps.
Yes.
What exactly was this that she flipped over?
That was just a shelf that I would put her laundry on. And that could just be a matter of her, because I have like a living room. I have like a big square. Okay. So she paces around the house and she goes to 4 different rooms. And then when she gets agitated or something, we don't know what it is, she'll just flip it over and get angry. And we don't know why. That's our biggest thing. And that's what the Lee Clinic has done for us. Now, she hasn't had an episode like this probably in about 4 years, I'd say.
And that's due to the Lee Clinic. Wow.
Absolutely. Yes.
Now there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If that's right there, that story that Miss Sharon just said, if that doesn't tell you how amazing and beneficial the Lee Clinic is, just from that story alone, I don't know what the hell would.
Yeah.
Because 4 years of not having a violent outburst like that because of the great people at the Lee Clinic that are working with Jessie, helping her find appropriate releases. That's just unbelievable.
Right. Right.
That is unbelievable that it's gone 4 years that she said. That's not to jinx it and knock on some wood,
right.
But wow.
Do minor things. She'll still throw her food.
Right.
Not hitting like she used to.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while she did, but it wasn't on a daily basis like it was before.
Wow, that's awesome progress. I'm loving hearing that.
Yeah.
Here's another photo. Now, obviously, this is facing into your kitchen.
Yes.
She had a whole box of something that hadn't even been opened yet. She threw on the ground along with all this other stuff. And then, is that your refrigerator that she literally moved out of the hole? Where was that?
Yes, she pulled the refrigerator all the way across the room.
Gee, mini Christmas.
It wasn't even, it was not like she was after food or anything.
Right. She just was releasing whatever pent up aggression that she needed to get out.
Yes.
God love her.
Yes.
But that shows, I mean, that's some hella strength right there, especially a refrigerator.
Yes. And that's the thing with, people who are autistic and they get into these rages, they are so unbelievably strong. And it's, you just gotta let them do it. Even the behavioral, she's had a lot of behavioral help, and they're like, just once she's done, then we talk about it. Then she tries to help clean it up, but she's got to, go calm down, and then we come back to it.
Yeah.
Now that she's, older and she does throw something, she will go pick it up now. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
So, well, that shows great progress right there.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, she'll go have Jessie time. That gives her time to calm down, and then
hmm
come back and start cleaning it up, and she'll even apologize now. So,
Wow.
and
That's hella good progress then.
oh, absolutely.
That's something else. Here's yet another photo, folks. I mean, she flipped over a recliner. I mean, and well, there's the fridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this was a whirlwind of just, this
Right.
was probably, were all four of these photos, were they all in conjunction of each other at the same time period, same event? Or was a few of them at maybe different times?
Different times.
Different times.
And if you notice, like the fireplace, and I can't have anything on any shelves or anything. See how there's nothing on the
Yeah, there's no knickknacks.
no, nothing. It's a very minimalistic house.
But I guess I could see why you do that,
Yeah.
because if not, that's just more crap that you got to pick up, or they
That's
could potentially get destroyed or anything else.
correct.
You
Yeah.
got a beautiful house, though.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, thanks for sharing those photos.
Absolutely.
I know that's probably, some people couldn't have done that.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there who don't see what it's like with somebody who has profound autism, who can't explain their feelings, who it's not all about their little quirks or things like that. It's a day-to-day struggle,
Now, is
And-
she the only child you have that has autism?
yes.
So the boys, everything turned out okay with them, and
Yes, there's no autism in either side of the family.
so she was the first in your family that you're aware of.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And she's now 26. Now, did she? What did she? Did they have? Well, you said you pulled her from school, so I guess this question is going to be pointless. But did you work her all the way up with schooling through the age of 21?
No.
I know, like my son, he went to DuPont Manual,
Yeah.
and he got to quote walk the aisle, but
Yeah.
he didn't really get to graduate. Like, he got it, but it wasn't like legit, I guess. And then he ended up transitioning, going to Aaron's trade school until he was 21 years of age. And then, of course, they helped him with job placements.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I took her out at, I think it was mid-school. She was maybe 17 and a half. So
Mhm.
didn't know nothing, but we were just going through the motions, and it was more upsetting to her. I mean, I could they tried sending a bus. She wouldn't get on the bus. There are days she wouldn't get on the bus.
Mhm.
Then I'd have to drive her to school. And then when we got to school, I couldn't get her out of the car. And it took 3 people to get her out of the car one time, because I'm like, I got to get to work. I got to, and you know how awful that is to feel, to say, here, drag my child out of the car so I can go to work.
Yeah. But sadly, I mean, being a single mom, you had to.
Yeah.
Like, you had to make tough decisions you may not have wanted to do, but you're like, well, it's got to happen.
Right.
Oh man. Now, what did you do in job wise, or are you still doing the same thing? What do you do job wise?
Ultrasound tech. So
Oh, really? Now, do you do it at hospitals, or do you do it at doctor's offices?
doctor's office.
Do
So
you?
if I don't show up, then their patients don't get the help that they need. So it's,
Right.
I mean, the anxiety was unbelievable when she was in school, and every day it is. It's like, is the caregiver going to show up today? There are caregivers who say, well, I'm not going to work for this kind of money on somebody at this level. I want to go work with somebody who's on a level 1 and get the same pay.
Oh, so level 1 would be no real worry of violent outbursts, or it's like easy peasy,
Right.
whereas Jesse's on the other side of that spectrum.
And believe it or not, Jessie, because of this genetic disorder, she has what they call, I think it's ataxia, where it's motor planning. So she can't get dressed by herself. She can't brush her teeth. She can't wash her hair, just because she doesn't know the motion. Like if you tell her to close her eyes, she can't close her eyes. If you tell her to, put your hand on your shoulder, she can't do that. But if she's got a scratch on her shoulder, she'll go like that.
In that way.
All the motor. So the caregiver has a lot of responsibility. They've got to get her ready. They've got to make her food. They've got to see how much, make sure that she chews her food, because we've been in the hospital a few times with her taking such big bites that it gets stuck in her esophagus, and then they have to go scope her. So, it's the point where, caregivers, I think, are so important that they need to be paid on the work that they're doing, not versus everybody fits under the same umbrella.
Right. Well,
So,
and I can understand that. It's kind of like a lot of businesses do if you work second or third shift, you get shift diff.
right.
Well, it should be. I totally can see that if you have a child that's on a spectrum that it kind of hits a more higher level of intensity like that, then yeah, I totally agree with you. I could see why people want to take the easy road out.
Right.
But that doesn't help somebody like her, you know. And
Correct.
here, let's just show another picture of Jessie. I mean, she's so stinking cute, and
Girl.
I mean, look at her. She obviously she loves purses.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there's a lot of photos with a lot of different handbags.
You will not see her without a bag.
No doubt. So she loves it. Now, does she got her cool special stuff in there? Is there certain things that have to be in her purse at all times and go with her, or is she just kind of it just depends on the moment?
I think it depends on the moment.
Does it?
But yes, but you do not go in her bag without letting her know first. And
No doubt.
it took me a long time to figure that out. It's like, well, I wouldn't want somebody just going through my purse.
No, and that's true. Yeah,
And
I can respect that.
oh,
Yeah.
Jess, you got a baby doll in here, but you have to, because she'll leave an old food in there, or she'll leave an old drink in there, and
Oh, no doubt.
there where she would want to go out with two bags, one backpack and another one. And that we've got her down to, you're allowed to take one bag a day. But I tell you, that's one thing she collects. We probably have about 30 or more different bags, and she's allowed to pick one each day.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Miss Valerie says she's very beautiful, and she is very, very pretty young lady for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
And yeah, she is. She definitely strong, Valerie. You're right about that. Now, did you happen to go? Were you able to go? I couldn't. I had by the time I found out about all this, I'd already had stuff scheduled. Were you able to go on Friday back to the courthouse, or not courthouse, the annex building in Frankfurt, where they were doing the hearings on the Lee Specialty Clinic, Medicaid cuts, and all that stuff? Were you able to go?
I was able to go to the Lee Specialty one,
Mm-hmm.
which was a huge turnout, and we were so blessed that everybody came out. They had the main room, and then they had 4 overflow rooms of people saying how important the Lee Clinic is, and the support was just unbelievable.
And for those of y'all who've never been down there, I've been down. Those rooms are not small.
No,
They're large rooms.
yeah.
And so to have 4 rooms that are
Well,
filled by people with Lee Clinic, 5?
there were 5, because you had the main room, and then there were 4 overflow rooms.
Oh, well, there you go. Well,
Yeah,
that just
5.
shows the magnitude of the amount of people that were there.
Yes.
And of course, some of the photos, like, I might even have one of the photos from the other day. A lot of the yellow shirts. Let's see. think it's this one. And yeah, well, this was them outside the Lee Clinic, so they weren't. This was not taken actually at the court, but that it just shows the outside of their building too. It's very, very nice structure, very
Yeah.
nice place.
And
And I've heard Ariel said it's beautiful on the inside.
yes, it is. It's very nice. And another shout out to the Lee Clinic. You know, my daughter has to have lab work a couple times a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we went from having to, and this was with my permission, having to put her in an adult papoose to take her blood. And believe it or not, that papoose was very calming for her because it kind of gave her a big hug. So she went from that to maybe taking an hour just to sit on the table. Now, how many places are going to allow you to, at your own pace, lay on a table to get lab work drawn?
Oh yeah,
You know,
hardly no place.
there was one time they waited 2 hours for her to finally get comfortable for them to do lab work. And she now can go in there without me, without a papoose, and just lay there and get her arm drawn or get her blood drawn.
No doubt. So she's progressed that far. That's awesome.
Yes.
That is really awesome. And Ariel said in my last podcast, she said, and it goes with what Miss Sharon's saying here, folks. You know, that shows how patient the Lee Clinic is, because Ariel was saying that when she was doing her clinicals, they had a patient that did not want to come in, just didn't want to get out of the car. So guess what? The good staff at Lee Clinic, they went to him in the parking lot.
They
and they took care of it there.
They did that with my daughter multiple times.
Oh, really? No doubt.
She came out to the car. She would see Jessie in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Swanson, who's her psychiatrist, he would come out and talk to her in the car because she wouldn't get out. And you're not going to take her out when it's, 10 degrees out and fear that she's going to sit on the ground, because heat or coldness doesn't really affect her when she's got her mind put to something.
Yeah.
Out in the parking lot. So many times they have a behavioralist there. They would come out to the car to try to talk to her. She's had her speech and her OT all come out. Everyone is willing to come out to the car and help you either get them in the car or try to do what they can for them while they're in the car.
There's so awesome.
Another place, I don't know of any place in the state of Kentucky that would do that.
No, I don't either. And nowadays, I mean, they definitely want to get rid of you as fast as possible.
They do. And
generally, and not saying Lee Clinic, folks. I'm talking like if you go to a doctor, I mean, everything is so fast paced because, we're all so very impatient people.
Yeah. Well, and doctors a lot of doctors now that there's this where the hospitals own the doctors are being told what to do. You get this much time with this patient. You get this, and this. So they don't even have the time to do that.
And that's a shame.
Quota.
It kind of makes you wonder, is it possible that we could, I understand everything in today's world is fast paced. And I get that, but sometimes it makes me fearful that are we getting so fast paced that we could actually make mistakes?
Oh yeah,
because we're rushing too fast.
Right.
That kind of makes me wonder sometimes, But this picture here was one of them that was just from their last meeting, which was on Friday.
Yes.
And that's them. Obviously, they don't have so much of the yellow shirts, but they got the green signs now.
Right, and that was they wanted to cut the Medicaid, by 4% this year, and then I think it was either 6 or 7% next year. So that means your caregivers would have to take a pay cut. Her case manager would take a pay cut. Her community guide would take a pay cut when these people haven't gotten raises in years. So that's what that whole thing was about, is why are you reducing Medicaid by 4%? And you're picking on the vulnerable people who can't speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to my senator, and she called me back. And she has always been there for me. And then she had another gentleman by the name of Michael Hall, who was pretty high up in the Medicaid. I don't know what his title is, but he called and he said, don't worry. That day, he called me after the meeting. He goes, there's not going to be a pay cut. But nobody else knows that. And that's what he had told me, but I haven't been able to see it anywhere that they are not going to do the pay cut.
I hope they don't.
Yeah.
Because what's really sucks about, especially the Lee Clinic, is they deal with the adults.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned this once before, and I'm going to say it again, that in my opinion, those are the ones that they take from first, and they're the ones that Jessie's fortunate. She has a loving mother that's her advocate and that takes good care of her. But there's a lot of people out there, folks, that once, especially we age, people start dying off in your life. And when that happens, then next thing you know, these adults that are disabled now become alone.
Yes.
And sometimes the only people they may have is like the Lee Clinic to help keep their life with some sort of structure.
Yes.
So, and the thought of wanting to take that away.
Yes.
Is just, and then I noticed on the news after they did, the Save the Lee Clinic, the picture I just showed and stuff on Friday, they had mentioned the fact that they had mentioned, I'm sorry, this damn phone lady keeps calling me, trying to tell me about some PlayStation crap. And I swear, I thought I blocked her 1,000 times, but it always keeps bringing her name up with different numbers. So it's always somebody trying to scam some crap. But anyway, sorry about that, folks. I was trying to shut that up and it just didn't work. I forgot where I was going with that. They were talking on the news about how they were also saying, well, now it's hard for the Lee Clinic, to get staff. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you think you just threatened to axe the program,
Right.
and it was saved for the next fiscal year. But it's like, I'm not a very smart man, but if you've threatened to axe a program and it's saved, but it's only saved for sure for the next fiscal year, then
Right.
why the hell do you think it would be easy to find people that would want to possibly start working at a Lee Clinic, knowing that maybe they only have 365 days before they got to start sending resumes out again, potentially to go find a job somewhere else? Why would anybody want to put themselves through that?
Right.
So it's kind of to me, it's kind of a double-edged sword too. You wonder why you're shocked you can't get nobody to work. Well, of course they can't. You're threatening to take these people's program and flush it.
Yes.
So I hope and pray that does not happen. Brandon, he's not a part of this program as of yet, but there's nothing to say that he couldn't eventually get on the list and become one, because my son now is 27. So he's roughly about the same age as Jessie.
Okay.
Now, how long did it take for Jessie to have to wait before she got picked up by the Lee Clinic?
She was not on a waiting list because the crisis nurse is the one who suggested Jessie's in crisis. We need to get her in now.
Oh, that's awesome. So there's exceptions to the rules where they can actually push.
Yeah.
They can kind of finagle people in. The ones that they see need the biggest flags of need get to be chosen first.
Well, honestly, I didn't know anything about the Lee Clinic at the time, so I don't know if there was a waiting list back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know if there was a waiting list. I know there's a waiting list now for the dental is like 4 years just to get into dental. But it's never, the sooner you get on that waiting list, the better outcome is going to be.
And we may look into that with Brandon because, he doesn't have, well, unless we get him dental insurance, he's got Medicaid. Well, it's hard finding even people with Medicaid, people that want to pay for, dental wise, they just most don't want to participate in it.
Right.
So, and I don't know why that is. Do you know why that is?
Why they don't take Medicaid?
Yeah, why so many of them want to avoid it? Is it just because the cost is just set at such a low rate and it's fixed to where it's like they're like, why even bother?
That's my opinion. Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I kind of thought too, based on what I've seen. I'm like,
And U of L and U of K dental schools are supposed to be great, but they have waiting lists. And my daughter
mhm,
needs sedation with dental, and um, and right now the Lee Clinic doesn't have sedation. They don't offer sedation at this time, but they're working their butts off to get it. Um, and I had to pay $6,000 out of pocket because she needed some caps on her teeth, and I didn't want to put the silver caps on them.
yeah,
Poor girl's got to have some dignity. I don't want her.
right.
We try to stay up on her teeth brushing twice a day. She's a
hmm
breather, and it's really a shame. And U of L wasn't putting people under sedation, and U of K had a huge waiting list. So you know,
Wow. That's unbelievable. Well, I hope legal. Well, I hope they get it. Of course, I guess, and before they get that, they're gonna, we're
oh,
gonna have to win the battle on the hill here and save the Lee Clinic indefinitely. And I
exactly.
sure hope they do, because in my opinion, I think the government waste. We spend a lot of money on some pretty asinine programs that
Yes,
that it's like, what's really the financial benefit of knowing this knowledge?
yeah,
And some of these programs that I've seen, if they're true, I mean, I don't know anymore. You got to take a grain of salt of everything you hear or see, because it, everything can be misconstrued so easily anymore.
right,
And you get so much different types of information. It's hard to determine which one's real and which one's not.
correct.
Um,
But
but I,
all of us went through
mhm,
was it was uncalled for. They had the money,
yeah,
but they wanted to. We had to go through all this anxiety. What are we going to do? I've got to find a new psychiatrist before her medication runs out. Of course, the Lee Clinic would give her refills up to a certain point,
right,
but to find a psychiatrist in that amount of time, and then it's like, come on, guys, we have enough on our plate already. We
yeah.
don't need any more. Why would you do this? Why would you take this away? And
And especially like you doing it alone, that makes it even worse. My wife and she does the majority of that stuff. And I mean, hell, that paperwork that you got to do every year, and you got to do it.
yeah,
Um, that is, it's actually harder. I think, my opinion, it's harder to have a handicap adult than it is to have a handicapped child,
yeah,
because there's so much more red taped BS that you have to jump through.
yes,
Once your child turns 18, that's a whole new headache that's added every year to your plate.
right. And if you don't get guardianship at 18 and you take your child to the doctor, they won't tell you anything because
Yeah,
you get sued. Even though your child's probably in a wheelchair and not verbal, they still won't. The
yeah,
most important thing is to get that guardianship, because, you know, then you don't get anything,
yeah.
guardianship. But there's just no services out there for adults. A lot of day programs are not up to par. Uh,
hmm
because she doesn't go to a day program. She goes once a week. I mean, she goes one day a week, and she goes to an autism. It's not Dreams with Wings. It's called BCA, and it's for socialization and life skills.
Well, I haven't heard of that one. I've
Yes,
heard of the other one, but not BC. You say BCA?
BCA. Yeah, Bluegrass Autism Center, and
Where's that located? Do you
this
know?
Fern Creek.
It's out in Fern Creek. Oh, it's near me.
Yeah,
So,
and
hmm,
they are amazing there. And they took Jessie right in and said, "Don't worry, we got her. We got this," and she loves it. So
I'm so glad that she likes that program.
yeah, and we've tried others, and a lot of it's sitting around doing nothing.
hmm
It's and that was the problem with the residential homes. I could just go on and on. Residential homes, if you don't go to their day program, you almost have to follow what they want you to do, even though they say they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You do, unless you go over there every day, pick them up, and tell them where, and drive them around. So I just
Wow.
see my daughter going to a day program 5 days a week. I know we work, but to do the same thing over and over and over.
Right.
Color, maybe go on a field trip once in a while. Paint
Right.
day,
Now with you, well, that's another thing too that people don't realize is, when we're all in limbo and they're threatening to shut all this stuff down, well, that affects people, especially somebody like Miss Sharon here, because Miss Sharon, yeah, again, for those of y'all that may start late, she's single mom raising, an autistic, I shouldn't say, used to be a child. Now she's a woman, and she's got an autistic woman that she now raises. And for you, when they're threatening to do all these cuts, I mean, that also means that she's got to take unnecessary vacation time to get stuff reaccomplished. Like she said, specialists. That would, if she had to go through and revamp all of that, that is a lot of time.
yes,
And she's also a mom that still has to work to provide.
right,
She's got to work to provide because not only does she have an autistic child, she's got one that, by the grace of God, has been doing really well with the behavioral side of things, but has had outbursts. So that also is very tricky.
yeah,
Um, because like she said before, trying to get people that are willing to participate in Jessie's life for that, just in case she does have an outburst, they don't really want to put themselves in that situation. Well, that makes finding someone to replace even harder.
correct.
Like I can only imagine what you have to go through, And
Yes,
even my wife, that paperwork she fills out, if she dies, I don't know what the hell would happen because I have no clue about that crap.
yeah.
None. I
It's
am so blind when it comes to that.
Well, she's got a great case manager that helps me and a community guide that helps me, but we didn't get, a community guide for about 2 years. 2 years ago, that I even knew that was a thing, and they help you with applications. And
Now, is that the community guy you're talking about? Is he part of the CLS program as well?
yes, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
And I just started that.
Okay,
I started that with Brandon partly because of what you just said. You even said yourself that Jessie hasn't had one in a while.
right,
Well, she probably hadn't had one in a while because they probably don't have enough of them out there to send to everybody.
correct,
And I think that's why eventually it was opened up to me to be able to do stuff for Brandon because Brandon hadn't had a CLS worker in, ooh, I don't know, probably over 4 years, 4 or
oh,
5 years, I guess,
uh,
maybe even longer. So there was a lot of benefits that he was supposed to be getting that he never was because they just didn't have anybody to fill that void. Well,
right,
now they allow CLS workers to be family. So, like, the wife's the boss, and I'm the one that does the CLS stuff, and then she approves things.
yes,
Um, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to get him, to be able to do that kind of stuff.
correct,
But like Miss Sharon, she can't. You really couldn't do the CLS stuff and be the guardian and work a job to support your family. I mean, it's
right,
unless she could clone herself, which I'm sure
right,
if you could, you probably would.
yeah. People say, oh, you pay parents to stay at home to watch their children, but they usually have a spouse because I had to work to have health insurance for myself and for my boys.
Oh
So
yeah,
I didn't have a choice to be her CLS worker because I needed to have insurance,
right.
health insurance. So,
Now, this young lady here, apparently, this young lady I'm about ready to show in this photo, this young lady was very pivotal with the developmental processes of Jessie, in regards to helping Sharon. And
oh my,
apparently, this young lady did a really good job, apparently.
April, we love her, and unfortunate she passed away, and that was
Oh, did she really?
It was such a hard thing she went through, but
Oh, that's so sad to hear.
yeah.
Because I didn't know that. I knew that obviously something had happened, and I figured she probably had just changed jobs or something and was just no longer,
Uh,
um, helping with Jessie. But apparently, no, what a shame. Because look at the beautiful smile on that lady's face.
oh my gosh, she was
She looked like she could light a room up with that
yeah.
smile.
She was one of she worked with Jessie at the school and said, I can help you out at home. And she wasn't afraid to just get right in there and help out. I tell you,
That's so sad. When did she pass, if you don't mind me asking?
probably 7, 8 years ago.
Oh my gosh. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I tell you what, Jessie won't forget her.
Oh, I bet not. And she was, Jessie was lucky enough to have that lady in her life at least for a little while.
Yes, and Jessie also has her middle school teacher, Kelly Blevins. She still helps out with Jess, even though she's a retired teacher. She still got Jessie stole a piece of her heart, and she will still come and help out with Jess. So there's a lot of good people out there that do make a good impact. A positive impact.
That's awesome. Now this little guy here, I think this little guy he's not so little anymore, but this little guy here,
Yes.
there was a video, which I tried, ladies and gentlemen, I tried to steal the video from Sharon's page to where I could show. She had a reel of Jessie with Bailey as a puppy. So I don't know how old he was at the time, but he was definitely not a puppy like 8 weeks, but he looked older than that, obviously.
No,
But
it's only about 8 weeks at that time.
was he really? Wow, he looked huge. Well, of course he is a big dog. Because
Yeah.
he's a is he a
He's a golden doodle.
golden doodle? That's
Yeah.
I was drawing a blank.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I tried to get this video for you all folks, because this reel, and if you know Sharon and you haven't seen it, go look at her page. You'll find reels. You'll see a video with Jessie with the puppy, but it's very sweet. But it also shows a side of autism that where they have to be watched, because with autistic kids, sometimes they don't realize that they can get so excited. So they may want to hug too tight. And they're not trying to be mean. They just it's kind of like they don't know their own strength.
Right.
And so you would watch this video of Jessie holding Bailey, and you would hear mama in the background, now, ease up, or something to that aspect, to where it's like, hey, you're getting a little bit too hard. And of course she would immediately ease up, because she realized, oh yeah, but now, does Bailey kind of service as a service dog for her?
Not really. He's just we tried to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he will just sit next to her and stuff, but she doesn't seek him out as much as she did when he was a puppy.
I guess it's not as cute anymore, and not as small. Can't really carry him around and like a baby.
He's too big and overwhelming, where she's like, oh,
Now, how did he do from once you got him, growing up with her? How did he do?
Amazing.
Did he? That's awesome to hear.
Absolutely amazing. He tolerated a lot from her, never once nipped at her or barked at her, nothing. So
that's so awesome.
Yeah. And there's another little dog that's on the Facebook that was my son's dog, and she was smaller, and this dog would protect her like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, that little one.
That is that guy, that one you're talking about?
Yes. The little one really was more protective of her than the bigger one, believe it or not.
Now, what's the little guy's name?
Molly.
Oh, Miss Molly. Oh,
Mo-
nice.
Yeah. And, it's just amazing how, how neither of them got overexcited when she would yell or scream or knock things over.
Mm-hmm.
They're just very calm and protective, really.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like when she did have violent outbursts and was on a destructive spree, how
Yeah.
did they respond? Do they kind of just give her a wide berth, or do they just
They,
go hide, or
uh,
just,
honestly, they just stood there and watched her, really.
yeah, it's just kind of like, well,
Like fun.
wonder what you're doing.
Yes.
Very cute animals, though.
Thank you.
And I'm sure that helps so much too. I'm sure it really does for them to have, an animal in their life.
Right.
I'm sure that's very,
Yeah.
but, like let's throw another photo of. I mean,
Oh,
look at that is so cute.
yes.
The precious smile.
Yes. To
This
think,
picture, I picked it because my youngest boy, he loves bracelets like that. So he wears a boatload of them too.
and don't you take one off.
Yeah, I bet she wouldn't like that, would she? Now, what has she got on her? What is that on her fingers?
Oh, those are different colored band-aids because she's obsessed with band-aids and she likes different colors on her fingers. There's I don't think I put it on Facebook, but there's another one where she's got little stars on each little fingernail. So
Oh, no doubt. So she likes all the little decorative stuff like that.
yes.
Now,
Yeah.
where were you on this? It looks like you might have been on a boat.
No, we were at on the river. It used to be there's this big restaurant that used to be an Mexican restaurant that was on River Road. And then it used to be a barbecue place, and the places were just so big, went out of business.
Oh, it did. I was
Yeah.
going to say, I'm sitting there trying to think.
Yeah, if you it's right before you get to like all the bridges on the riverside. Yeah. But yeah, when we do take her out or when I take her out to dinner, we have to go to open places because there can be dishes tossed.
Yeah, and I imagine that is a daunting experience too, because if you're out with an autistic child and they do have an outburst and everybody's looking at you, and of course everybody's like, what in the hell's going,
Yeah.
they don't know.
Yeah, it's, believe it or not, it's easier and more acceptable for outsiders as she's an adult versus when she's a child and everybody thinks she's just being a spoiled little brat.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't really think of it from that vantage point.
Yeah, most adults don't act like that. There's something going on.
Right. Well, and that's actually a really good point. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yep. I chased people down at the zoo before because they would say, you need to teach your daughter some manners. Or, and it's like I would chase them down. I was the mama bear. And I'm like, you don't even know this child. How dare you, put your 2 cents in? You know nothing about her.
Yeah, people just need to mind their own dang business.
Yeah.
The way I look at it. Now, I can't tell what this picture is, but I labeled it. So it's obviously one of yours, but let's see. Let me bring it up and see what it is. Oh, this was just another shot of.
Oh, that was one of the days that she had to just empty everything out of the cupboard.
So, she just decides that everything in the cupboard needs to go out onto the living room furniture, folks.
Yes.
And Miss Sharon's like, and that's a very good point. It's like, you just got to pick your battles. It ain't worth dying on that hill for some clothes and trash bags or whatever. So it's like, just let her unload the crap and then we'll just reload.
Yeah. And she really thought she was cleaning up. She was putting everything in one spot.
Yeah. I mean, at least she didn't, she wasn't flipping out on this one.
No.
It just shows that she thought she was cleaning. She thought she was helping.
She's helping out. Yeah.
But she really caused more work. And that's another thing that people need to think about is, like Miss Sharon here, doing this all by herself. Well, now she's also got to clean up.
Yeah.
She's got to clean up messes that are in the mind of her child are not messes. I'm trying to help mom.
Yeah.
So, those are kind of things that the average Joe don't have to deal with. But
Right.
I think people need to see that. They need to understand
Yes.
that kind of side of things. Now
Absolutely.
let's see what this picture here is. Well, she definitely likes dolls too. I noticed.
Yes. She
Yeah.
loves dolls. We have a lot of baby dolls. There are days that she will not put that down. But there will be days that she'll want nothing to do with them. But you could see that's one of the days that she was so happy. And those days make it all worth it.
So precious.
Yeah.
Now, does she do well with when she carries the doll around? Does she do well, or does
Yeah.
sometimes she'll just decide that it's like, okay, I'm done, and just toss it aside and that's it?
Don't carry it. Oh yeah, don't you touch it. If she's carrying it, don't touch it.
That's so cute. And let's see. Well, it ain't letting me pick that one. I don't know why sometimes it does that. Now, this was her obviously in school.
Yes. Yes. And I believe that may have been trying to think of that may have been 8th grade. Like, I'm not really sure, but there were many times like when she was in high school, her middle school teacher would come over and help them.
No doubt.
Yeah, because they were connected. So
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Oh yeah.
Now, let's see. I even had, even got some more. There's a few I have that I don't know why they're grayed out. Now that one, that was one that you sent me. Yeah. Those obviously she was having a birthday it looked like, or at a birthday party.
That was her birthday. Yes.
Now, does she like birthday parties, or do the singing loud and the candles and the, all that stuff? Does that kind of freak her out, or does she enjoy it?
Only thing that freaks her out is balloons.
So she don't like balloons.
Doesn't like balloons. So if we go to a birthday party, there can't be any balloons.
Does she not like when they pop, or does she just think she just stays away from just in general?
She's afraid that they're going to pop.
They're going to pop. She don't like that loud noises.
Right. Yes. And 4th of July was a blast.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, and I don't know about you in Oldham County, but out here, I ain't that far from you, but I tell you what, it used to be when I was a kid, you had 4th of July, you had maybe one whole weekend.
Yeah.
You might have heard fireworks Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That was really about it. Or maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday or something, depending on how it fell. But I tell you what, nowadays, at least around here, that crap goes on for a month and a half. And my dogs, God, they're terrified of it. So it's a month and a half of misery.
Yes.
Trying to walk animals at night, because you actually got to literally walk your own dogs that that you've never had to in years. Right. Now you got to get back into doing that.
Yeah.
Such a pain.
Yes. But if I could get Jessie to wear headphones, but she won't, we'd be in a whole different place, I think.
Oh, so she don't like headphones, eh?
She won't wear headphones.
Huh.
We've tried all different sizes, all different kinds, and she just won't leave them on her head. So
that's interesting. Oh, that was the baby photo. I just showed that one. I thought it was a different one. Let's see. Yeah, a couple of these, man. I want to show like this one. I don't know why it's grayed out. It won't let me. Now, did she do? It looks to me like she did some Special Olympics at one time.
She did.
She was with the Flyers. I remember the Flyers.
She's done soccer. She did a little bit of swimming, and now she's going to try bowling. Even though she throws the ball, we're going to try it.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
And sometimes if they don't like her lofting it, then you can suggest that she uses the track where you put the ball on there, and that'll just line it up, and then she just pushes it, and it'll roll down the ramp and go.
Well, Special Olympics, I believe, don't allow that.
So, well, I don't know. They used to. I don't know if they still do.
Oh,
I would see them use that a lot when because I was a coach for the
okay.
excuse me, no, I almost said volleyball, basketball, softball, and bowling. Now I kind of stepped away from bowling the last couple of years,
Uh-huh.
partly because you th- they want you to rush through getting your bowling hours in for submission for like regionals.
Uh-huh.
Well, the bad thing about that is they you don't really have necessarily need to have regular practices. Why? Because like Brandon, he went out with his behavioral lady, April, and April would Brandon would get all of his games in one fell swoop. Well,
Mm,
then it's like, well, crap. What's the point of going for practice then if you've already got all your hours for submission? If you're already done with all your games,
right.
and then the worst part about it too was when you did go to like regional or state, it got to the point where they finally wouldn't let the coaches be there. So like you would get them set up, but then when it got ready to start, I guess they had workers that would go through and help with scoreboards and all that stuff if there was problems. But the coaches couldn't be with to try to help coach them along. I mean, hell, it even got to the point where I would have to stand behind people so I could barely even see. And I said, well, what's the point of me doing this other than putting stickers on them when we got there to
Right.
show they were registered and that they were present and accounted for?
Yeah.
So, but now, where did she do the swimming? Because I have never seen the swimming, but yet apparently it's. I mean, I guess
It's
they hold it somewhere. I just have no clue where.
it's um it's in Louisville. I know if you take Highway 42 all the way down to um almost to where it ends in Louisville, it's gosh, it was a pool called Mary.
Oh, Mary T. Maher.
Yes.
Yeah, Mary T. Maher. That's right.
Yeah.
I've never been in that place, but I know now where I know where you're talking. So that's where they hold that.
Yes.
And I know, like, I go to Southeast Christian Church. I don't go there as a church member, but I go. That's where I've been,
For their yeah.
going for the Special Olympic stuff. And they got a nice facility, but now they used to do soccer, but I don't think they do anymore. So it's like soccer. I don't even know where people go for that, or um, and they even do equestrian stuff. Which has she ever done that? Where she did riding on horses?
She did do it's called hippotherapy. She did do that for a while.
Hmm.
And then they closed down. Uh,
Did she go to the one off Long Run Road?
yes.
We did too.
Yeah.
So they are closed.
They closed. Well, this is when she was in elementary school. And then they closed for a little while. And then, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was insurance reasons or I don't know. But then when it came time for her to go back, she wanted nothing to do with it.
Oh, no doubt.
And I took her to it's called Zoo Barb. It's a horse farm out here in Goshen, and it wasn't hippotherapy, but I said, can we at least try to get her on a horse? And they were like, sure, let's try it. And she did it a couple times, and she's like, nope, not for me.
That's
So,
interesting. And for those of you all out there that may not know what hippotherapy is, hippotherapy essentially it's therapy on horseback. So like when my son went to the same place Jessie did, you had a spotter on each side of the horse to make sure they didn't fall off. And they also were the ones that were actually doing the therapeutic, different things, but they do it on the horse too, because the walking of that horse helps with, I'm assuming it would help with good core,
right.
strengthening. Um, so a strong core makes life a lot easier. So they would do different types of stretches, reaches, and the whole time they're on this horse, your kid's abdominal section has to be engaged.
Right.
So it's getting a good workout. And then of course they got a guy that leads the rein and they walk them inside. I mean, it's not like,
Oh
at
yeah.
least for us, we stayed inside that one barn. Now I don't know if they ever would go on walks. I'm not sure if they ever did that, but they had a nice program.
They
I
sure did.
hope they're still there.
They had, I saw one kid, they had him on his hands and knees backwards on this horse. And
Oh,
I'm,
no doubt.
wow, that's amazing.
That is cool.
And it was just a core building is what it was. And the confidence that that you could see on their faces.
I wonder, why do you think Jessie didn't like it? Do you think it's just the how big horses are? It's just kind of daunting to her, or what do you think?
I think it was the smell, honestly. With farm, she's very
Well,
sensitive to smells. So
well, and that makes sense because it definitely smells like you're going to the fair. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yes. Yeah. But no, and I think it's the size as well that it's intimidating.
Right.
So
Now, this Lee Clinic area, here's a picture of just several people again at the Lee Clinic. In this photo here, you got the guy with the headphones on as a patient, and I believe it's his sister, is the young lady to the left of
yes,
the screen to his right, and I think mom is to his right, or his left. I mean, our right in the center of the picture.
right.
And I'm assuming the other ones maybe potential staff.
Staff supporters, yes. Yeah. Yeah, because I had some of my staff came with me as well.
Did you?
Yes, they were. Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm not sure if you know them or not. These are the peeps that I used to work with right here.
No, I don't think so.
Now, Rick, the guy in the back, he was kind of my preceptor. So when I started at County EMS years and years and years and years ago, once you get cut loose writing third person, you still have a preceptor that makes sure that you're at a level to where you should be able to function on your own, but you still have watchful eyes to make sure that you don't do something stupid.
Yeah.
And that was Rick. He made sure I didn't do anything stupid.
God.
And his wife, he's a nurse now. He works at Lee Specialty Clinic. Then his wife's the little shorty one,
Uh-huh.
Amy. She also works there as well. And then Katie, the blonde with on the left there of the screen. I don't think Katie works there. I meant to ask her, but Katie had actually gotten very, very ill during COVID.
Oh, geez.
And she was actually, if memory serves correctly, she was comatose. Like I don't know if it was an intentional comatose state or what, but they had her for a while. She was intubated, and she went through it was a very scary situation for quite a while for her. But by the grace of God, she was able to persevere, and she got through the other side. And she's now, as you can see, she's not even on oxygen anymore. So.
Wow.
But she was very passionate about the Lee Clinic, and she's the one that actually informed me. I can't believe I didn't know anything about the Lee Clinic.
Yes.
Having a special needs child myself, I cannot believe it. But unfortunately, I didn't. But I'm glad to know about them now. Now here's some ladies here. Did I lose you, Sharon? I may have lost Sharon, or either that or her phone may have rang. Let's see. Let's see. Well, Miss Sharon knows if she did get dropped for some reason, she'll be coming back in. She knows to use the link. Hey, Chris, what's up? Thanks for joining in. That's funny. Maddox is obsessed with Band-Aids too. That's interesting. Wonder what it is with Band-Aids. Miss Sharon, if you can hear me, I'm going to remove you, and you just come back in that link that I told you about. Now, let's see. We'll see about getting her in. Well, until she comes back in, folks, we're going to go ahead and we'll come back to this photo. But we will, I do want to post this. This is a new picture that I came across for the Lee Specialty Clinic. I thought this one was very well done. But I want to just show everybody because, again, this is a very There she
Oh
is.
my gosh, I'm so
There
sorry.
you,
I have
oh, you're okay.
that's coming over, so I'm gonna have to cut you short. But um, that picture that you were showing before, those are my work peeps, understanding, wonderful people I work with.
Oh, you talk about these peeps?
Yes, yeah, those are my coworkers
Oh,
uh,
nice.
that are understanding when I come in late or have to leave early, and we kind of got each other's back.
Oh, is that you with
It,
the in the yellow next to the lady with the
the orange,
purple and
yes,
yeah, in between? Okay. I
I'm
couldn't hardly tell, I guess because you got I think you have a sun visor on, which
yes,
is part of your attire.
yes, I'm supposed to be Big Bird because her favorite show to watch is Big Bird.
Oh, no doubt.
It's Sesame Street, so but it has to be Big Bird.
So that's her go-to.
That's her go-to. Yes.
Well, and again, I was showing this the newest flyer for the Lee Specialty Clinic. Um, Anything before I know that you're saying something's come up, you're going to have to fixing to be going here in a minute, which we're almost at an hour and 35 minutes or hour and 30 minutes, excuse me. So we're actually doing pretty good on time, and this wouldn't be bad if we have to wrap. Is there anything that you would like to kind of share about the Lee Specialty Clinic that maybe people don't know, to where they can start paying attention to this program and this progressive state that we're going to be doing for the next year to hope and pray that they save this clinic and it gets off the chopping block for either complete removal or downgrades, because we don't want to see either.
Right. Um, they're the only place like it for adults with special needs, and they have all the services that you need. They have your primary care, they have psychiatry, they have vision, dental. They even brought in an endocrinologist because she needed to see an endocrinologist. So if there's a specialist that you need to see, like she's got to go see a hematologist, they found one, they got us the appointment, where you know a family physician wouldn't do that. They wouldn't take the time to do that. And it's hard enough with kids that are on the autism spectrum. They don't like change. So if you've
Mhm.
got to go to the doctor, see your primary here, and then you've got to go to see your psychiatrist here, they're constantly going to different places, where this is like a home for them, where they feel secure because they
That's
know,
awesome.
you know,
That's
they,
really, really, really awesome.
and
Well,
they
that just shows how killer of a program that really is.
oh, absolutely. Yes. And you as soon as you walk in, they're like, "Hey Jesse, hi Jesse." It's like they really make you feel at ease.
Well, it sounds to me like they don't need to get rid of the Lee Specialty Clinic at all. If anything, they need to
Oh,
clone it and make more than one
absolutely.
across this great state of Kentucky. That's what it
Sure.
sounds to me.
Fortunate.
So, my political speech is, to these politicians out there is to, let's think about the actual people that's affected. Let's not
Right.
think about, ourselves. And I'm not saying that any one politician do, but and I try to keep politics out of stuff. Same with religion, just because it generally doesn't end well. But in my opinion, a lot of times things are not necessarily done for what's best for the people, but
Right.
sometimes it's what's best for the
Right.
individual. And I hope that's not never the case, but I
And I
have a feeling sometimes it is.
we really need to stay on top of our legislators and governor, so we don't get to this point again next year.
Amen. Yeah,
Work.
because this bailout is not the end all, folks. Like
No.
they are not out of the woods at all.
Right. And for the Lee Clinic, they had to send out all those records to different places that were having waiting lists. And, 1,200 patients they had to send out records to. And then they come back a week later, said, okay, we're going to fund you for another year. Like, to put anybody through that kind of stress is ridiculous. That should have been fixed a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
Never.
especially like you said, it's not like people that are in your situation have not already been through enough.
Correct.
Because if you've never had a handicapped child,
Right.
it is. I don't wish. I mean, I love my son, and I
Yeah.
would do anything for my son, and I wouldn't trade him for the world. But I wouldn't wish what we had to go through with him on anybody,
Right.
because but I also think that God puts he gives special needs kids to people that he thinks strong enough that can handle the situation. I don't see him giving a child like Jessie or Brandon, or like in my buddy Maddox, Chris Wells' son Maddox, who has autism. He's very similar to your daughter. I was looking at comments when you had fell away, and I mean, his son's obsessed with band-aids, scared to death of doctors. Like, he has his outbursts too. It's
Yeah.
very, very similar. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But
Right.
on the same token, I think God gives that to people that he knows can do it.
Yeah.
And he ain't gonna give a Jessie to somebody that he don't think can handle. That's why Jessie has you.
Oh, well, thank you.
And she's very, very, very blessed and very fortunate to have you.
Thank you.
But thank you so much I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be on the show.
Absolutely.
I really, 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 really appreciate it. And again, we could always have her back on too if needed. Same with anybody else. And again, for those of you all out there listening, let's support the Lee Clinic. Let's get the word out. Let's stay on these politicians and let them know that, hey, you're treading on a thin ice with us when it comes to our special needs community people out here. And we don't want to see anything happen to them, because they're taking, I mean, just look at the photos that I showed you earlier that Miss Sharon shared of the violent outbursts that Jessie has the potential to do. And because of the Lee Specialty Clinic working with her, that has severely diminished by 4 years. And now she might still have a little outburst where she throws a little small piddly stuff. But what you saw in those photos, that amount of destruction to the house, it's been 4, knock on wood, 4 solid years of incredible growth and progress from Jessie. And it's partly because she has a wonderful mother, obviously, but also she's got that Lee Specialty Clinic that is right there making sure that they set her up for success and not failure.
Yeah. And
So
they'll call you after hours. They'll call you on the weekends. Everybody needs to get on that waiting list. I really believe it. And
yeah,
we need.
I need to look into it for Brandon, especially for the dental aspect of things.
Yeah.
That's just amazing that they even help you. Like, if Jessie needed a new specialist, well, what type? This? Oh, well, we don't have one of those. Well, that's all right. We'll find one.
Yeah, they
And
found.
it's like, dang. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you want to cut a program that is that impressive, that's that functional? I mean, it makes no sense.
Yes.
They're like a well-oiled machine, and it's just like, let's just shut them down.
Yeah.
No, it's like, how about we cut some money from some crap that we really don't need to
Yeah.
spend the money on, and let's utilize it on somebody like Jessie, who cannot take care of herself, and she's never is going to.
Right.
She's always going to live with you unless you put her somewhere, obviously. Same with us. Brandon's never going away. He's always, and I don't want to put him anywhere. I want him to where I can, and I'm sure Sharon's the same way.
Yeah, they don't want to. They want to be in their own home.
Absolutely. And it's a good peace of mind, because I'm sure for you would be like, with her staying at home, that's a good peace of mind for you to, she's safe.
Yes.
You can kind of govern what she's doing. And, when they're somewhere else, then you got to worry about, look at all those new scares that we've seen over the years of people taking care of the elder or children, and then they treat them like shit, or they abuse them, and that's a scary, scary thought. And at least the way Sharon has Jessie with her right now, she knows she's safe. She knows she's well taken care of. And it at least minimizes the stress on Miss Sharon, because her plate is already full of stresses too. She's still got to work. She's got to go through these motions, and she's doing it all by herself. So I tip my hat to you, Sharon. You're a very strong woman. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up, because Miss Sharon has some stuff she's got going on. But thank you all so much for tuning in. And again, let's be supportive as all get out for this Lee Specialty Clinic. I'm sure that they're going to post new flyers, kind of like this one that I just had up again for everybody to see. They'll probably have a new one once they know when the next hearing is in Frankfurt. So I'm sure that the last one they did on Friday's not going to be the last one
Oh,
by
no.
any means.
Right.
So there's going to be other times for people to be able to go down and support this great cause. Obviously, the bigger numbers that we turn out on that Capitol steps, the more likely that someone is going to take us serious and listen to what we have to say.
Correct.
And again, just another shot of just one of the many rooms where people had turned out
Yes.
for this hearing. And it's not even just that, folks. It's not even just the Lee Clinic. I mean, we're talking, to my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon, the Medicaid cuts are still there. Michelle P. Waiver cuts are still there. And Michelle P. Waiver, is she on that? I forgot to ask you that.
She's on the SCL waiver.
So she's on the SCL. So, the Michelle P. Waiver, it's a waiting list to get on that program. And that's a heck of a program, too. That one is also on the chopping block. So, folks, we have really got to band together and try to save this clinic, because you've heard the story from Sharon today.
All right.
Wonderful program, and has done so much for her daughter, and I hope they continue to do so.
Thank you.
Miss Sharon, if you ever need anything, holler at me. It was, again, pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be on my piddly ass podcast, but I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. You have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was Miss Sharon Raymond. And I can't thank her enough for being on, sharing her stories, and even sharing a lot of the photos of various things. So we all learned a little bit more about various angles with autism, as well as the Lee Specialty Clinic. And again, I cannot stress enough, we're going to beat this horse and just beat it and beat it and beat it. But, we got to save the Lee Clinic. Again, you heard it firsthand. It's the only one in Louisville. It's the only one in the state of Kentucky. And they go above and beyond to take care of our special needs adults in our community. And I can't say enough about this program. I'm just blown away. And it's hard to believe I still didn't know about it. But wow, what an awesome program it is. And let's see. Let me maybe put up this picture too. I don't know if this is another flyer. I had this put in the queue for a reason. Well, this is just something that somebody had on the thing where you're caught in the political crossfire, and the disabled people obviously are the ones in purple there that are in the middle. They're the pawns in this situation, and we don't want them. Our special needs people don't need to be pawns. We need to elevate them and covet them and take care of them. So let's not let politics get in the middle. And let's do the right thing, and let's find some budgetary money to keep this great program going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's pretty much, unless I've got any other photos I want to throw in here real quick. No, it looks like I may have hit them all. All right. Well, again, more to come on the Lee Specialty Clinic. We're going to keep you informed if there's any more hearings for Medicaids, Medicare, all that good stuff. I'm sure you're going to see it on Facebook. People are going to be able to go out and show up because there are going to be more hearings on this. This isn't over with, folks. I want to thank everybody. Take a quick moment to thank everybody for stopping in. That was in Scott Braley again. He always drops in. Such a good dude. Excuse me, Miss Val. She's always in. Thank you, Miss Val, taking time. Jean, welcome. First time I think I've seen your name, but thank you so much for joining, Miss Jean. I really appreciate you. And then Val, of course, thank you so much. Chris Wells, everybody from Echo TV, which is a religious-based television. He works for them. He has an autistic child too, and he joined in. So I want to thank Chris for dropping in. So everybody, Miss Janice, she's always dropping in too. And then Miss Kathleen, it was good to see you, honey. And I hope you're doing well as well. And Uncle D, he joined late, but it was good to see Uncle D in here. So, and he said, "Thanks, Sharon, for sharing hope for us fans. Strength helps bring awareness. It does." So, I want to thank all of just everybody that's in my life that is supporting my podcast and stuff. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everybody. And Lee Clinic, I'm going to do my best to try to bring awareness to you all and see what I can do to help. And I hope I do you all proud, because you all definitely do our community proud. So, well, without that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We'll upload this podcast, so hopefully within the next 24 hours, it's going to be on most of the streaming platforms. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just throw this out here too. Please don't forget, if you haven't done it, to like and share and follow. If you like the content that you're getting from the Bones Unfiltered podcast, in order to reach more people, I need to be heard and seen. And in order to do that, it takes good folk like you all sharing and tuning in to raise awareness, and where we can reach more and more and more people. So I really appreciate that. For those of you all that do want to support a podcast, that's the cheapest and freest way to support the podcast is, of course, to just like and follow. Doesn't take any time, doesn't cost you nothing. Like, follow, subscribe. Some subscribers charge. I don't do anything yet, because if I'm going to do that, then I want to try to figure out what I want to do I can do monthly, that's special for the people that pay for $1 a month subscription or whatever. But whatever you all do donate with stars, likes, or all that stuff, that all that helps. But if you do like the show, then here's my QR code. If you scan that, that'll take you to my website, which is www.bonesunfilteredpodcast.com. That's my website. You can actually go there, and if you can and you want to and you can afford to do so, then if you do like some merch and you want to support that, I do get royalties off merch that is sold on my website. So that would help make a little bit of jack for this programming. That way it helps pay for the stuff that costs money, like insurance and the different platforms you need for distributing or for doing the show. All of that costs quite a bit of money per year. So it would be nice to just make a little something off this to where it can help offset that cost. But if not, we're going to keep doing this podcast. Things are growing, and it's growing pretty well. So I'm really impressed with how things are going. But the special needs podcast seems to be very important to a lot of people. So I look forward to continuing doing this. I sponsored Co's Air for Kids Golf Scramble this year, so my business is going to be at the Old Kentucky home this weekend. I'll have a hole marker of some sort, I'm sure, with Bones Unfiltered Podcast on it. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates and we're able to have this golf scramble on Saturday. So more to come on that. But other than that, wish everybody well. I hope everybody has a good week. And we may be doing a podcast music-wise on Thursday. If so, that one is probably going to be around 8 o'clock at night this Thursday. Not 100% yet, but just be prepared if you want to look for a Bones podcast music edition this Thursday. It may happen. And again, if it does, it's going to happen at 8 in the evening. So more to come on that. I'll try to talk more about that and start kind of promoting that once I fine tune the details and know for sure it's going to happen. So without further ado, this is Bones saying thanks for tuning in to this awesome show. Thanks again, Miss Sharon, for being a part of that. I couldn't have done it without you. And let's rally behind the Lee Specialty Clinic, ladies and gentlemen. They're an awesome organization filled with some very talented and awesome people. let's keep their quest moving forward. So until next time, this is Bones saying be good or be good at it. Talk to you on the next one. Peace.
Bones Unfiltered Podcast.